In this book, you'll find details about the ancient culture of India and about our hidden past. Get the book on Amazon or read it for free on Kindle. In this final video of the first series of my book, The Nagas, A Shape-Shifting History, I'm going to read some excerpts about final chapter number 6, The Nagas of Sri Lanka. I've made a chronology starting from the northwestern part of India with the Indus Valley civilization through central area in India where the Nagas could be connected with the Buddhism, and now we're going to the Sri Lanka, the former Ceylon island. The Nagas people were believed to inhabit Sri Lanka as well as various parts of southern India. There are references of them in several ancient texts such as the Mahabharata and other Sanskrit and Pali documents. The Nagas are described as a race of superhuman beings who can shape-shift human beings into serpents and that live in a subterranean world. Some places like Nagadipa in Jaffna and Kalyani in Gampara are indicated as Nagas territories. According to the ancient documents, the Nagas of Sri Lanka inhabited the northern and western parts of the island. The Jaffna Peninsula is mentioned in Tamil literature as Naka Nadu, in Pali literature as Nagadipa, and in Greek as Nagadiba or Nagadibois. The name Nagabumi was also found on an ancient coin discovered in Uduturai, or Jaffna, and in a Tamil inscription from Pudukottai in reference to the Jaffna Peninsula. The Mahabharata, one of the epic literatures of Sri Lanka, states that the Buddha, during his second visit to Sri Lanka, pacified a dispute between two Nagas kings of Nagadipa, Chulodara and Mahodara, over the possession of a gem-studded throne. This throne was finally offered to the Buddha by the kings as a sign of gratitude. The Buddha left the precious gift in Nagadipa under a Rajayatana tree, turning it into a place of worship. And this is one of the most famous events connected to the Nagas in the Jaffna Peninsula. This reference, which is also found in other Pali writings, is sustained by archaeological and epigraphical findings that have established Nagadipa as being the present Jaffna Peninsula. The chronicle adds that in the 8 years following the achieving of alignment, the Buddha visited Sri Lanka for the third time, following an invitation by Maniakuta, the Nagas king of Kalyani, what is now Kelaniya. That king was the uncle of the Nagas king of Nagadipa. Some researchers believe that Manipalavam is Nagadipa indeed, today known as Ninativu. This is one of the many examples on how the line between mythology and history is so thin that in too many ways the two disciplines become one. Chitalai Chatanar, author of the Manimelakai, wrote that Naganadu at that time was an autonomous kingdom stretching across several coastal districts and clearly distinguished from the rest of the Sri Lanka, which was nonetheless ruled by Nagas kings at intervals. The Nagas king's Valai Vanan was the king of Naganadu, one of the two territories in which Sri Lanka was divided. The other was Ilankaitivam. While Naganadu was being almost unanimously identified with the modern Jaffna Peninsula, Manipalavam is believed to have been either Nainativu or Karaitivu. And then we go to the reference from a Western scholar and traveler, Ptolemy. In his map of Tropabane, in the dated 1st century CE, mentioned Nagadibois as one of the coastal towns of Taprobana or Taprobane, that is the way ancient Greeks called Sri Lanka, as indicated in the medieval maps of Abu Rehan and Idrisi, and in the writings of Marco Polo as well. So we have further historical references, and here we see the map of Ptolemy. Tropabana, Sri Lanka was also marked in Martin Waldseemüller's map of 1507. Although later Sebastian Münster identified Tropabana with the larger island of Sumatra, and that's when maps started to change a little bit their makeup, but this is something that doesn't pertain to this book. It should be written in a different book. The Nagas' identity on Taprobana was visible through personal names recorded in Pali chronicles as well as in the Tamil Sangam literature. In 150 CE, Ptolemy writes that King Sornagos, a descendant of the Nagas bloodline, ruled from the early Chola capital of Urayur. In my conclusion to the book, after all this long journey that brought us from the very beginning of the civilization to the affirmation of Buddhism and the post-Veda epic is that in Sri Lanka, the Tamil Hindus have since ancient times regarded a cobra as a divine creature, and these beliefs seem to have passed down generation after generation through the Nagas traditions. The cobra is found coiling itself around the neck of the supreme Hindu god Shiva, the destroyer in the Trimurti, representing the serpent king Vasuki. Cobras can also be found in images of god Vishnu, the preserver, in the Trimurti. This apparent paradox expresses in fact all the duality of our known universe, from the opposing realms of matter and antimatter down to the quantum particles of quarks and antiquarks. At the genetic level, the entwining double helix of our DNA in its modern representation places the serpentine symbol on both sides of the equation of life. Video's presentation of the book Nagas, a Shifting History. Please find it on Amazon, Kobo, Nook, Smashword, and Google Play. And if you want to talk to me, communicate with me, you can find my profile on Amazon or Goodreads, where you can place questions or interact in these videos. Thank you for listening, and thank you for reading my book.